So in this video, I want to sketch, firstly, y equals x, x take away 2. And then I'm going to take a look at these, consider what graph transformation has occurred in order to help me sketch them, rather than trying to sketch them from scratch. So let's take a look at this one first. So y equals x, x take away 2. This is a parabola, a quadratic graph. And we should be able to identify where it's crossing the x-axis, which is when x is 0 or when x is 2. Okay, so let's try drawing this. So let's draw some axes first. Okay. So this is going to be my original graph. Okay. So it is crossing through at 0 and at 2, because they're the values of x that will make this all 0. So in order for y to be 0, either the x is 0 or the x is 2. So this will be a parabola going through 0 and 2. So it looks something like this. Trying to get it through 0 and through 2. Okay, and so this is the sketch. I'm not going to worry too much about where the turning point is. Of course, you could substitute x is 1 in, because it's going to be using the symmetry of the graph. X is 1, and then substitute x is 1, and then you can work that point out. Okay, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. Let's give myself a little bit of space. So that's my original. Let's take a look at this one. Y equals negative x, x take away 2. So we have a minus sign has appeared on the outside. Nothing else has changed. The whole thing has been multiplied through by minus 1. So this is, if this is y equals f of x, this is y equals minus f of x. Okay? And so because the minus sign is on the outside, it affects the vertical direction, and so the mirror line must be horizontal. So this is reflection in the x-axis. So I need to reflect this graph in the x-axis. So what would that look like? So if I reflect the graph in the x-axis, then this part will be reflected upwards, and these two bits will be reflected downwards. And so the curve would look something like this, going through 0 and 2 still on the x-axis, but this is what my curve would look like. Right, what about this one? Well, if you compare this with the original, then each of the x's have been replaced with minus x. So if you're replacing the x's with minus x, that must mean we've got y equals f of minus x here. So if it is affecting the x on the inside of the function, then it must be affecting the horizontal direction. And that would be a reflection in a vertical mirror line, so a reflection in the y-axis. So if I reflect this graph in the y-axis, I think I've got a little bit of space here I could do it in. So x and y. If I reflect this in the y-axis, then this section will get reflected over, and this section will get reflected over. And so the curve will look something like this. So 0, 0, 0 will stay exactly where it is. The 2 will get reflected over to negative 2. And so this one is there. And so there are my sketches.